What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we got to talk about a brand new rumor. Trust me, I don't plan these things out ahead of time, and it seems like this rumor is to come in to save people like you or I, people that were believers of this remastered saga. So, look, at the end of the day, this didn't end up happening. We got a phenomenal 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10 even, trailer that just kind of went through all of God of War. Was freaking incredible, gave me chills. I left a comment on it, gave it a like, all that jazz, but they did do something. Obviously, they had the panel, and then obviously we didn't get, the remastered thing. Well, this actually, this rumor puts that to bed and now gets us moving on to the next target that might never end up happening. But look, I do think there's some backing here, something I want to talk about in this video. I don't think this is just throwing blank at the wall, right? Seeing if it sticks and, again, just kind of jumping from target to target, because I understand how it looks, but I feel like you look at who's saying these things, and we're going to add some stuff up, do a little math in this video. I think it's honestly pretty likely. So Jeff Grubb came out and he basically said, okay, everyone keeps asking about this, so I've tried to find out more. There's still a Greek God of War thing coming out later this year, but it's not a remaster collection. It's a new side story project. I was never told about a remaster collection, but I asked a source about the rumors that I saw were focused on a collection, and they told me that nothing God of War would happen at the State of Play, but something could show up at the anniversary. Now, that last part is really, I think, what's going to maybe haunt him. Maybe he just should have never said that in the first place. Look, Jeff Grubb he's definitely more right than he is wrong. So maybe about a month ago, and I did a video on this, you can go back and check all this stuff out. Tom Henderson was doing a podcast, and he said that he had heard something about a early God of War thing, and he was kind of confused. He didn't know if it was a reboot. He didn't know if it was a remake. He didn't know if it was, the remastered saga. He just knew that it would be something with Kratos in the Greek mythology, and that's kind of all he left it. He wasn't 100% sure, but he did throw that out there. He's very good in terms of insiders. He's probably number 2. Jason Schreier is probably number 1, right? But they're like neck and neck in my book. So I think when you honestly combine these two things, this makes a lot of sense, or this seems more likely to happen, right? A prequel like God of War, maybe around God of... Well, here's the thing. Where do you even put this, right? Do you do it around God of War 1, but say an early God of War thing with Kratos? And so the Tom Henderson thing was Kratos and his dad, so I guess it's Kratos and Zeus, and some sort of journey there. When I hear a new side story project, by the way, from Grubb, I think to Miles Morales, and I think that's what a lot of people would think about. And it's interesting because I think this is something that many of us would have called and said, okay, this is something we think is going to happen. But I think we all said it with Atreus. I think that's actually the most ironic part here, is after Ragnarok ended and, there was job postings. There's a lot of evidence that there's going to be another God of War game, right? But the question was, okay, do you just do the next, mythology? Do you just go to the next big game? Or do you do kind of like a mini game? And then it's like, okay, well, you look to Spider-Man and how they did it with Miles, 6, 7, 8 hours, pretty good, but it's not like a main installment thing. Could they do that with God of War? And a lot of us said yes, and they'll probably do it with Atreus, right? And then go back to Kratos as the God of War and do the next mythology. So it's something we've always kind of thrown out. I just don't think we thought it was going to be a prequel, and if it's not a prequel and it's Kratos going back to Greece, that would maybe be interesting. So maybe it doesn't have to be a prequel, right? There is some cool things you could do there. And then I guess the last part of it is like, well, if this happens, good or bad versus the remastered thing. I mean, look, if you told anybody that we would get like a brand new, God of War game a month ago versus getting the remastered collection, go back before the rumors of the collection started, I think people would be thrilled, right? Like a new God of War experience, even if it's 6, 7, 8 hours, a new God of War game is a new God of War game. People would have been hyped. For me now, I'm kind of conflicted. I'll definitely take it. I will definitely support it. I'll definitely talk about it and play it. But I do want, I'll tell you, now I'm not going to ever give it up. I really do want a remake or a remaster and a collection of these older games. So many of them are stuck. So many of them are inaccessible nowadays. It actually makes me pretty mad. And especially for one of their bigger franchises. And again, the trailer today, so freaking good, amazing. But then you think about it and you say, well, how can you actually play some of these games? Some of them are not so easy. Some of them are not in so good condition, right? So it's like, I know you care about it. Show me you care just a little bit more to do a collection. But no, I mean, honestly, again, I would like that. It's always going to, I guess, be something now that I think of as like, on my wish list of one day, PlayStation announces it. But if you give me a literal new God of War, even if it's a God of War 0.5 game, I'm going to take that every day, right? Any day of the week, I'm going to take that. So it's kind of, I mean, it's overwhelmingly positive, but I guess there's just a little bit of negative there. But we'll see. We'll see if this happens. I mean, it didn't happen today. And again, that's why I think maybe he shouldn't have said that last part. But, there has been rumors of a PlayStation event in the summer. And, if this is going to come out in the fall, maybe like an October, November, December thing, maybe like a Valhalla kind of sneaking in there. You wouldn't show it at like the Game Awards and then drop it the next day like they did with that, but you'd have to show it probably this summer. And so maybe that adds, a little bit more energy to the state of play or showcase rumors in the summer. Maybe they do that. They show Ghost of Yotei. They show, I mean, it would probably be right after Death Stranding, so I guess maybe you wouldn't do that, but definitely Ghost is like your main thing. 50-50 you get Wolverine, and then maybe God of War is, the one last thing that they do. That would be freaking cool. So we'll see what happens, but again, I think based off not just what Jeff Grubb says, and he's pretty right, especially actually with PlayStation, he tends to be, he's gotten the last state of plays right when nobody else actually has. So that's one thing that he's a little bit more trustworthy, but pairing that with what Tom Henderson said a month ago, okay, it definitely sounds like there's like an experience. It's a game. Maybe it's not a collection, but it's a game. So that kind of lines up. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.